Hello, hello. All right. So basically the idea here is I had to get a rent a car at an airport, and as you know, airports are still keeping up the Nazi scheme where they're making people wear face condoms, and so that's it. And then basically, how can you do this kind of stuff without having to worry about it? What happened to me is I'm actually not going to the airport. I went to my airport's website. They had a contact us tab. I clicked on the contact us, and they had an email, and I emailed them saying I had a religious exemption. My whole entire email chain is in the description of this stream, and it's in reverse order because I just copy pasted it and redacted all possible like contact actual information. So and just redacted the personal information and whatnot, like email addresses and phone numbers. So what happened was, let's just read through it. Let's see. There we go. So I just basically say, hello. My first is hello. I have a rent a car at this enterprise. I'm not going to be flying out of your thing. Okay, I don't have OSB or whatever it's called that people have to pull up actual documents and stuff on their live stream. So yeah, I'm a what do you call it, boomer tech. I am religiously exempt from wearing any kind of face coverings. I'm asking for assurance that my rights will be respected and not discriminated against by any employees of Erie National Airport. So basically, what I'm asking here is saying, hey, I'm not going to be wearing a mask. This is when I'm going to be showing up to your place. Don't mess with me, right? Can you give me assurance that you're not going to mess with me? Their response, of course, is going to be, we are not aware of any religious exemptions for COVID required face coverings in federal facilities such as post office, transportation facilities, courthouses, etc. Can you please provide more information so we can review the exemption? So once again, they're handling themselves properly. I made a claim that I have an exemption, and they're asking me, well, do you have proof? Okay. So I respond to that with saying, hello. Thanks for getting back to me so quick. Is the information I sent got wait? Is the information I sent is the information I got from the information I think I had a weird typo error. So is the information I got from the US DOT discrimination policy webpage incorrect? Don't laws have precedence over requirements? So basically those two things are very true, and it's people get in trouble because laws do have precedence over requirements, mandates, and everything. Nobody's ever going to say no. And the laws, of course, I'm referring to is all the laws that have been made to protect people with their religious practices and religious beliefs. And then I'm also using their own discriminatory policy, which is on the US DOT website. You just pull that up, and it basically says it's standard things like we are not going to discriminate against anybody who has medical, racial, religious, et cetera, et cetera. So then she responds back to me and saying, She responds back to me, I don't believe I've ever inferred that information you got was correct or incorrect. I simply asked what rule you were referencing so we can take a look at it. I'm not an attorney, so cannot speak on the matter of laws and precedents over requirements. We will take a look at the US DOT discrimination policy webpage, and I will get back to you shortly. So she basically did a pretty good job at covering herself there. So it's one of those things where you think these people just don't know what they're doing. They absolutely know what they're doing. She's at handling herself properly, or at least this is a manager, so-called, where they actually know what they're doing. They know how to they've been trained how to handle people like me, and they're doing their best to make sure that I end up getting my rights trampled on and just being silenced. Okay. So that's something you always have to recognize. So at this point in the whole pandemic narrative, if somebody's still requiring face masks and everything, they probably know a thing or two of how to handle people who are just going to say, "Oh yeah, First Amendment, blah blah blah," just people just being belligerent or whatever. They know how to what do you call it? Handle us. So it's okay. So then on so I respond. So then she responded. So she got back. She said, "Airports are federal facilities, and face coverings are mandated." Once again, she just changed the word requirement to mandate. It's still the same thing, which means not a law. I spoke with the manager of the airport branch for Enterprise. She stated that the branches, which I redacted their names, of Enterprise are currently not requiring face masks. So these are other Enterprise branches. You just outside. One of them is literally across the road from the airport. Okay, face coverings, as neither located in a federal facility. She suggested one of those branches for your rental. If you'd like to speak to the airport branch reservation, you can reach them at these numbers. Okay, so basically, I called that number, spent like an hour and a half on hold because it's Enterprise. They don't answer their phone, but still, I spent all that time and basically, and they said it was going to be $400 extra at least if I wanted to move my reservation at that point. Which, I mean, remember, if you're getting a rent a car, always have it reserved like a month in advance, because the prices just increase and increase as time goes on. And basically, that was a week before my reservation. It was going to cost an extra $400 just to move there. And of course, I think I chose the airport, number one, because they were the cheapest. I think it was only cheap by like $80 at that point whenever I made my reservation. And then it was I wasn't even thinking about the mask thing because it's been so long. And then once somebody brought that to my attention, I was like, oh, okay, what am I going to do? So then I started watching, I think it was either the Peggy Hall or the Tom Barnett, those two people on YouTube. They're really good at helping people stand their ground and know their rights and everything. I think Tom Barnett's a little bit better than Peggy Hall, because Peggy Hall kind of where I was gotten when I said religious exemption, but it turns out you don't actually need. That's the one thing I would change in this whole thing would be I would not have I would change it from the phrase religious exemption to just exemption. You don't need to say medical exemption. You don't need to say religious exemption, whatever exemption. You just need to say exemption, and they're not technically allowed to ask you anything. Yeah. Anyways, hi, Michelle. Thank you for your cooperation thus far. It really means a lot to me. And I actually meant that. I don't say things I don't mean. Like the fact that this person's dealing with me and hasn't just immediately ghosted me and not responding to anything, or just laughing at me in some ridiculous fashion. I'm actually glad that they didn't do that. After checking online and then giving the Enterprise at the airport a call, I found out that changing my location and thus modifying my entire reservation would cost me $400 extra at this point. Almost guaranteed to be more in the future, because it's always increasing price as you get closer, as your reservation is a shorter and shorter time, the prices are always increasing. If you could please give me permission, and I'm talking about permission of just like, hey, can you just give me a piece of paper that says, hey, I did in fact ask permission to not wear a mask, and get all the people who are at the airport, who are working there, whether it be anybody, just from messing with me. So basically, I'm like asking for the golden ticket or whatever. That would be excellent. Then she responds, please provide a phone number for the Enterprise manager to contact you regarding your reservation. Then, of course, I just gave her my phone number. But what I think happened was, once I put $400, I think that was the magic word, is that you're now going to cost me money by just your ridiculous mandates and requirements are going to cost me money. Now, all of a sudden, that's I think that was the magic word where it's all of a sudden now there's a material loss I can actually report to any of these complaints or anything. Do I have anything else to say really? That's kind of it. Yeah, I said what I would. I said I would, in fact, change it. I would say just say, because if you're ever in a vocal conversation, what I've heard, especially from Tom Barnett, is what you do is just say, "Oh, thank you. I have it. I am." If somebody's like, "Where's your mask? You need to wear a mask." Like you just say, "I am exempt." And if they say there are no exempt, blah 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 blah, there are no exemptions. Whatever they say, you say, "Are you a legal professional?" Just, and if their answer is no, they used to say, "Then you have done your job by notifying me. Now let me do my business." Okay, that's about it. And then he goes into really big depth. That's about all I'm going to convince, because I ain't no guru. I'm a guru on this kind of thing. So that's about as far as most people will ever get it. I mean, imagine if somebody at the airport, some smarmy guy with who is a lawyer, actually says he's a lawyer and you need to wear a mask or something. Like you can just ask them for what do you call do you have any proof that you're a lawyer? Because impersonating a lawyer is a federal offense and everything. And if they don't have their credentials on them, they technically can't do anything. But then even then, I don't think they would, because they know that they're giving people legal advice, saying they're a legal professional. And if it is in fact wrong or something, if it is factually wrong, they can get in big trouble. You can take their insurance away or something. Calling them up. Once again, don't say, that's the biggest thing. I think that's another big thing I think I've learned on this whole illegal thing. Don't say things you do not mean. If you do not mean that you are actually willing to back your claim up and file a complaint with an agency, or file it with the insurance or with another federal agency or anything, if you're not actually willing to file a complaint or do something and have these people lose their job or something, you don't put that on the table. You don't bluff. That's one thing I found very important. But I guess in hindsight of this whole thing, I was wondering if I actually had a win here, because they kind of just pigeonholed me and like, oh no, you're not actually going to go to the airport and stand up for yourself. You're going to go to this enterprise across the road from the airport, and therefore nothing. You don't have to go through all that. So I guess it's a win in the Sun Tzu fashion, the art of war, where it's you win by not engaging your enemy, and I guess they also win because they're not engaging me. So I guess it's a win-win. Yeah. All right. I'm done.